today's video, I'm going to reuse these plastic pots that plants came in, these grocery bags that I've been collecting, and some duct tape to make a DIY concrete pot. Let's get started. To begin, each concrete pot that I'm going to make requires a mold, and I used, once again, recycled my old flower pots. They are plastic, very thin and flexible. I needed 2 pots for each concrete planter, one a little bigger than the other so that the smaller one can sit or nest inside the bigger one. I needed to cover up the holes in the bottom of my flower pots, so I just used some plain duct tape and covered those holes up. The next step was to line my mold. I used plain grocery bags to do this. I lined the bigger pot on the inside, then I took the smaller pot and lined it on the outside. The plastic bags kind of serve the same purpose as wax paper when you're baking, and it also gives a neat look to the concrete when it dries. I secured the bags in place with just a plain rubber band. The concrete pots need a drainage hole in the bottom after they are made. So I took a piece of PVC and cut it about 1 to 1.5 inches to serve as my drainage hole. Now to mix the concrete, I just used a plastic bin to do my mixing in, and I mixed it to the consistency of probably brownies. I know that may be a little wet for some, but I wanted it a little bit more on the wet side than the dry side, because the longer the concrete stays wet, the harder it will dry. To fill the molds with concrete, first I took the larger pot and put about 1 inch of concrete in the bottom, put my PVC drainage hole that I cut, and then set my smaller pot inside. But I don't know if you can see this very well. Make sure I fill the smaller one with rocks so that it would be weighted down, because with the concrete it's a little liquidy and it tended to want to float. After my planters dried for about 3 days, it was time to take them out of the molds. The recycled flower pots were very flexible, and the plastic bag helped the concrete just slide right out. There were places where the plastic bag stuck in the creases of the concrete. Well, the plastic melts, so I just took a lighter and melted the plastic bag away from the concrete. Now to add a little color to the concrete pot, I used a ebony stain. I just brushed it on with a paintbrush and then wiped the excess off with a rag, making sure that I got down into all the little cracks and crevices. Thanks for watching, and I hope this DIY video has inspired you to do a DIY project of your own.